Well, we're the Rural Alberta Advantage, and we're hanging out at Threadless. And, my name's Nels.
I'm Amy.
I'm Paul.
I grew up in Alberta, and as long as I was living there, like, I was sort of inundated with the provincial slogan, which was known as the Alberta Advantage. And it had always sort of championed how Alberta had tons of jobs, there's the industry, the oil and gas, and I guess for the longest time I'd always associated in my head the Alberta Advantage with being this sort of industry money sort of machine that was sort of running super hard. And I was living in Toronto for, I don't know, maybe a year or two, and I was talking to my brother over email and just sort of like, you know, seeing what he was doing for the weekend. He's like, oh, you know, we're going down to the farm with a couple friends, just hang out and explore the Rural Alberta Advantage. And it was funny because at that moment, like, just reading that phrase, even though I'd heard like the Alberta Advantage a million times, just by him putting rural in front of it completely changed every memory that I had about that statement. For me, a lot of the songs really are in a way born out of those memories. Funny how just one simple word could sort of change that. Singer-songwriter stuff where like the melodies are kind of the focus of the songs. I think like Hayden, Skyscraper National Park was, you know, when it first came out, was just a big album for me. Probably one of the biggest ones, which like for me is super underappreciated, is like Gord Downey's Coke Machine Glow. I don't know, there's something about it that it's a really beautiful Canadian album. M. Ward is a big one, and I know when my brother gave me an album of Cassio Tone for the Painfully Alone, that was a really big, like Twinkle Echo was a big album.
I guess I grew up on a lot of like Canadian indie rock as well. Like Hayden is probably my favorite Canadian musician out there, and he lives in my neighborhood now, and I pass him frequently and I'm really nervous of it. But in terms of influencing the record, I like a lot of like male-female harmonies, which we get to bring to a lot of the songs on the record. So bands like Mates of State, and I really also like the Postal Service and what they've done in terms of adding like the electro-pop influence, and I think that also comes through in terms of stuff that we're doing.
I'm definitely the least like these two musically. I mean, I was into alternative music a long time ago, and I guess Steve Shelley's like the one drummer who I could say influenced me the most. But I don't know, I listen to mostly like hip-hop and old house music and break beats and stuff when I actually listen to music, so I don't know.
It's lucky being just three of us in the band that we all kind of can have our ideas expressed at various points in each of the songs. Something I know that we've, like being in bands before with, you know, 5 people, or sometimes it's that, you know, each person is a specialist in their instrument and they really want to play this great solo, and then the song is just like this mass of really awesome parts that doesn't really work for the song. So the way we go about it is kind of Nils will bring in the bare bones, a sketch of the song, and then we can kind of all work together to build it up into what it ends up becoming without it becoming too overcrowded. I think what we really try to do is do a good job of letting the songs breathe. You always say, like, giving them space to just kind of, you know, do their thing. Never try to overdo it with crazy bells and whistles or anything like that.
Except our next record's all going to be bells and whistles. We're going to have a bells and whistles outtake album.
We were lucky in that through word of mouth, like some bloggers in Canada started picking it up, like Frank at Chrome Waves picked it up, who's one of our like earliest kind of supporters, and through that, I guess more and more people started kind of getting a hold of it, and one person, a lawyer named Troy from Los Angeles, somehow found it through, I think, a Nova Scotia-based blog called Hero Hill, and he sent it to the senior editor, I think it was, of EMusic, who's now a friend of ours, and anyway, the EMusic people really liked what they heard and chose us as their selects artist, and so then we got exposed to about, you know, 500,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And then from there, they put us on a South by Southwest showcase.
With Grizzly Bear.
Yes, which was really unbelievable. So we kind of
small show.
Exactly, a little show, whatever. South by Southwest, all our friends' bands are going, and they're like, "Oh, where are you playing?" We're like, we're opening for Grizzly Bear in a church. Like, what? So then we were really obviously scared but excited, knowing like that's going to be a really important show for us, and luckily we played well. We played as best we could, and from there people liked that, and then Saddle Creek saw us and they signed us basically there. They signed us the day after that show.
Wow.
So that
Well,
was...
having Pitchfork say that you guys are the real deal, you're going to be huge.
Yeah, that was
That
actually
was-
that happened the day we were meeting with them, like
Yeah.
about 10 minutes before our meeting started.
Yeah,
I was reading
Yancy.
it on an iPhone, just being like,
Yancy was like, oh yeah, by the way, check this out before you meet with Saddle Creek.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be huge. We're like, yeah, it was a really sort of like South by Southwest was a real sort of surreal sort of event. I think, like, looking back on the whole thing, I think EMusic was probably the biggest sort of, it changed the sort of trajectory of the band.
no doubt. It was...
And yeah, like, we got a lot of really great support from different blogs and people, so it was, that definitely changed everything on how things were going, and we've been pretty fortunate. I think we all realize that. We've been pretty lucky.
And now we got t-shirts.
Yeah.